Oh yeah, it's double organic.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in for another dose of vitamin D with me, Double Organic. I want to share my experience that I've had with cadaveric dissection. I just finished 9 months of cadaveric dissection. It's quite a lengthy process to fully dissect a human being, and I want to share this experience because I think it's a really interesting experience, profound experience, and it's not for any shock value or anything like that. I mean, if you really wanted to watch videos of dissection, there's videos online of that already. This is not what this is. This is my reflection, my experience, and just sharing how it was for me, for anyone who possibly might be entering into a cadaveric dissection course themselves. Maybe they're in medical school or something like that. Me, I'm in chiropractic school. And it's also just for anyone who is a little interested. Maybe you're interested in health or science. If you're interested in health, you by default should be interested in science. And if you're interested in science, you should be interested in health. They kind of go together. Although there's a lot of people who study science and still eat Big Macs and shit like that. That's the whole other topic. So yeah, there'd be no images of cadavers or anything like that. Just pretty old me. Lucky you. Before I go into my experience, I think a very brief history of human dissection is in order. Now, I'm also working on a separate video of the history of medicine from the very beginning, 10,000 years ago till present day. I think it's a very interesting history, and I will make a video on that separately. But we're going to cover a brief history of human dissection. There was a time when human dissection was taboo. You didn't talk about it, and you didn't do it. It just wasn't done. And because of that, our understanding of the human body was very limited, and doctors and other healers just kind of made stuff up. They figured, well, that heart thing, it pumps blood, and then the liver, it pumps blood back too. We have two pumps. No, we just have one. It's just the heart. And you can argue there's other pumps like muscles pumping venous return back to the heart by contracting. Sure, but anyway, they had a lot of ideas that were ass backwards, which I'll go over in my next video on the history of medicine. But eventually, dissection was fought for, and people said like, hey, we need to do this. And some of the first dissections that were allowed, they were public dissections. Imagine that. An anatomist who knows a little bit about the human body in the town square, maybe not the town square, but the public was invited to watch this person for hours dissect someone else and just cut into them and say, pull out this and say, this is the heart, and that was the thing. It doesn't really happen like that anymore. No. Dissection is very under lock and key. It's very controlled, but it wasn't always controlled like that. No, there was a time when there was really no rules. When dissection was finally allowed, medical schools dissected prisoners who were killed, as capital punishment. But that only happens so often, and they need more people to dissect. So it was the student's responsibility to procure their own cadaver. When I go to school, they say, you need to have an iPad to take your exams on. I say, okay, I will procure this iPad. But medical students, they needed to procure their own cadavers, maybe multiple cadavers, because they didn't have preservatives, they wouldn't last so long. And grave robbing was like literally an industry for the medical sciences. People would be hired to go dig up freshly deceased people and bring them the body. Or maybe go find a homeless person, kill them, and here you go. Here you go, future doctor. And so that was like in the 1700s and 1800s. Not too long ago. A long time ago, but at the same time, like, not that long ago. But over time, laws were passed, and the donor program was created. Dissection and the donation of one's body for science, very regulated, and respect is paramount at all times. One speech, when I was going to be entering into dissection, I did a lot of research, documentaries, listened to speeches and stuff, and there was one speech given by a university. I forget the name of the university. It's really not that important, but it was a prominent university. And at the end of their little history of human dissection, they said along the lines that their school has lots and lots and lots of medical students or prospective medical students apply to them each year, and only a fraction get in. But even more difficult to get into their school into their medical program is being a cadaver, because they have so many cadavers or so many people who donate their body to science to be dissected. They only need so many, so they said it's more difficult to get into their school as a cadaver than it is as a medical student. And it's tough to get into med school. So basically what they're saying is there's a lot of people who are willing to donate their body to science for one reason or another. Sometimes people are kind of on their deathbed, and they form a relationship with their doctor or something like that, and that person is inspired to donate their body to science because of that, or other reasons as well. And by donating their body, then medical students are able to learn a lot and pass that knowledge on, or not so much pass the knowledge on, but use that knowledge to help thousands of other people. So I've covered a little bit of the history and a little bit of the why that we do dissection. We gain a lot of information from it. One could argue, well, with our technology, we could just have online dissection or digital dissection, maybe is a more accurate description. And I've looked at some of this stuff. It's not the same. When you can feel something in your hands, feeling arteries that are atherosclerotic and they're just hard. It shouldn't be like that. You're like, wow, that's what a clogged artery feels like, or something like that. And it's just you get so much out of it. It's very valuable, to say the least. So now, if you're stuck with me this long, I'm going to describe sort of my 9 months, going from the first day and just kind of as we progressed. We entered the dissection hall in our scrubs, our blue scrubs. It was a bit cold in there, and it was also the first day of school due to the first couple days of school being closed due to snow days. It was the first day of school, and on our first day, like the first thing we were doing in school is basically dissecting a human being. To go from Christmas holidays to that is the big change. We entered the dissection hall. We were assigned to our dissection groups. These are people we were going to work with for the next 9 months, and we would, of course, grow very close. We wheeled our cadaver out on the dissection table and opened the doors and tucked them under, and cadaver was laying face down on the table. Had a head shroud, basically a little sheet wrapped around their head, and a second sheet just covering the entire body. We were basically instructed to palpate the cadaver and just feel for some different bony landmarks. And you couldn't really feel anything. The cadaver was almost ice cold and rock hard. They had been laying on their back for so long that their back was perfectly flat. Kind of like if you wear your socks all day and you have the shape of your socks into the skin. Their skin was just flat, like the floor or like the table they were laying on. It was permanently kind of in that shape because they've been laying on their back for 2 weeks or whatever. And we're feeling can't really feel anything. The whole purpose of that was to kind of acclimatize to this, because there's no slow way to start dissecting. You just have to kind of jump in, you know. I guess the slowest way we could go about it was to feel the body a little bit, kind of get a little bit comfortable. It's quite an experience, and then start cutting into them. And where better to cut into them, I guess, is their back. You know, you're not going to start on the face. It's a very personal thing to do. So we start on the back and start by removing the skin of the back, identifying muscles. As you go through, there's layers of skin, there's fat, scraping fat away using forceps and scalpels and probes, just little scratching tools, finding nerves, finding arteries, finding all these various little delicate structures. At times the cadaver could be off-gassing, you know, quite a stench due to preservation with formaldehyde. So yeah, we would wear respirators most of the time. Yeah, 3 hours later, we'd completely removed all of the skin of the back, and in just that little bit of time, learned a lot. Over the next couple weeks, we did the same with the arms, and dissected the hand, all the intricate muscles of the hand. And, you know, when you're dissecting the hand still looks very real and very alive. Months and months later, after the person has been dead for so long. And then you do the leg, and at that point there's not too much skin left on the body. Next term after, we then remove the face shroud for the first time, and to look into their eyes and to see their face, the person. This is them. This is who donated their body to us to learn. And again, remove the skin of the face and identified all the vasculature of the face and all the little muscles that can allow us to speak and to create all these facial expressions. And then we eventually removed the brain and held a brain in our hands, and we're able to identify in a separate neuroscience course all the parts of the brain, and you know, this is their identity, their memories. This is them. And then next quarter after that, you know, the last 3 months of this 9-month ordeal, we opened up the chest cavity and held their heart in their hands and their lungs, and you'd see people who maybe had smoked and like the damage it can do to their lungs, or people who their heart was very fatty, and you know how well that heart had worked. It really drives the point home for me to be as healthy as I can, and to definitely eat a plant-based diet. And then we followed the digestive system from the beginning to the end. Yes, to the very end. And finally, the reproductive system for men and women. And when we were finished the dissection, that wasn't the end. First of all, we then had a circle of appreciation after, and groups prepared some different presentations, whether it was a poem or whatnot. In the auditorium, we delivered. We had a couple minutes for each group to sort of speak, and I presented well, you can imagine it was a colorful speech with my standard humor. Had the class laughing and crying all the same, and that was like a good fitting end to the cadaveric dissection. So if you have a dissection, very likely you will also have a circle of appreciation, which is, you know, where all the emotion's gonna come out, because like I said, it's quite an ordeal. It's an experience. I know in med school or chiropractic school, you know, You have different ceremonies when you move on to your clinical phase or when you graduate, but this was like a little mini ceremony capping off the 9 months of this anatomy course. It's a very it's a big deal. So yeah, we had that circle of appreciation as a little mini ceremony to put a proper end to the course. And also what we learned, now we carry that knowledge forward in other courses and with our future patients, and so the learning never really ends. Anyway, that's my experience with cadaveric dissection. Shared some of my experience. Hope this serves people who are maybe going to be entering a dissection course and maybe they're a little bit freaked out or there's some trepidation, but just know that you'll be able to do it, and you don't even have to dissect the first day. You could get comfortable and let other group members dissect. And now there's lots of roles that you can play in the dissection team. You can read the dissector guiding the dissection. You can be reading the textbook. They're saying, okay, we're trying to find this artery, where is it? And you're looking up in the book and you find it and say, okay, it's right here. It'll be going between this muscle, and it'll follow this path, maybe, and maybe you find it. So there's lots of different ways that you can get involved with the dissection. And so hopefully that serves you. Hopefully people who tuned into this video for just the sheer interest, hopefully you found it of interest. And I'll end the video with the saying that we were taught: let the dead teach the living. It's very important. That the professor says, I really don't teach the course. It's the cadavers, it's the donors who teach the course, because the body, that's the real textbook, and he's just there to help us along. So yeah, we learned so much from the dissection. And as always, remember, get the 6 aspects of health every single day: earth, air, fire, water, work, rest. Subscribe, let's walk the path of health together. Be well.
Whoa, look at all those recipes. Those look tasty. Give me some of that. Oh yeah, it's double organic. I offer something I call double organic coaching. I even offer it free to one person each month. Got lots of epic recipes and information on health and wellness to share with you. Connect on Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube.